It is time to put the taskmaster to the task. Kevin Sullivan has been accused of potentially committing the murders of the Benoit family. But I think he's done something that tops that. He's done something even worse than that. He's put Charlotte Flair in the bracket of the best of all time. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And yes, you heard it. He has put Charlotte Flair in the top tier of wrestling. He says, when you think of the greatest workers of all time, Charlotte Flair is right in there with them. And I've got to call it bullshit. I thought it was Benoit who had the brain of an 85-year-old dementia patient. But I think it might be this guy. I think it might be Kevin Sullivan. Because how the fuck can he sit here unless his sole objective is to lick Ric Flair's ass? How can he sit here and claim that Charlotte is one of the greatest workers of all time? He was on his podcast, the Taskmaster, which I haven't listened to, and after hearing this opinion, I certainly will not be listening to it. But this is what he said on his audio format that is definitely not worth a download. Quote, "I don't want to sound like I'm in the past completely, but what the Queen does now, it's phenomenal. When you talk about some of the greatest workers of all time, back in my day, when we're talking about Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel and Hulk Hogan and all those guys, you'd have to put Charlotte right in there with them. You talk about a real athlete, people talk about the salaries of pro wrestlers. If it ever came down that there was a few companies that were solid, like Vince McMahon and Tony Khan, they'd be paying $12 to $17 million for a girl like Charlotte." End of quote. Whoa, what a load of shite from the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. I'm going to put him on a wee task of his own. Fucking delete your podcast, because that is a big pile of shite. To call Charlotte Flair one of the greatest workers of all time, what a joke that is. To put her in the same category as Hulk Hogan. I mean, she's someone that has never drew a dime. She's in this WWE system that just completely manufactures wrestlers to be the way they want them to be the way they want them to look, to be the way they want them to talk, to be the way they want them to wrestle. There's nothing organic about Charlotte Flair. There's nothing original about Charlotte Flair. She is literally just the female version of Rick, but worse in every single way. And it's just straight up disingenuous from Kevin Sullivan to suggest otherwise, that Charlotte Flair is an all-time great. Everything about Charlotte Flair is company made. I know people used to say that John Cena was molded into the person WWE wanted him to be, but I mean, that's bullshit. When you look at like Charlotte Flair, you look at everybody from today's roster: Charlotte, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Those people are the epitome of WWE manufactured wrestlers. WWE wants them to be as cookie cutter. They give them their titles, they give them their names, nicknames, slogans, they give them their lines, they give them their quotes or catchphrases, they give them the shitty little generic music. Everything about the wrestlers nowadays absolutely sucks. And to put Charlotte Flair at the top of the list at an all-time great is fucking retarded. And to suggest that Vince McMahon and Tony Khan would pay up to $17 million a year for Charlotte Flair, that's fucking wrong. Why would they pay that money for Charlotte Flair? Someone that has never moved the needle. Never fucking moved the needle in the ratings. Never done anything. Just simply there because her last name is Flair. And Tony Khan, maybe he's desperate enough, but McMahon would never pay Charlotte Flair $12 million, $17 million. Ain't gonna happen. You look at the amount of money that Hulk Hogan made wrestling alone. Like, back in the 80s, people would turn up to arenas, people would go to shows to see Hulk Hogan. He was the fucking draw. Wrestlers on the undercard, they weren't thanking McMahon, they weren't thanking WWE, they weren't thanking Hulk Hogan's opponent. They were thanking the Hulkster because they knew that they were making money because they were on the same card as Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan was the name that was drawing people into the arena. In WWE nowadays, it's the brand, it's the company, People go to WrestleMania to see WWE. Nobody turns up to WrestleMania to see Charlotte Flair. Nobody goes to a house show to see Charlotte Flair. I would say CM Punk's probably the last guy in wrestling that's got any sort of drawing power whatsoever. The rest of them, they're just employees. They're just made up fucking names, made up characters, made up wrestlers. Everything neatly manufactured by WWE, cookie cutter. No, they don't want, even Triple H said, like, over a decade ago, they don't want to create the next Rock. They don't want to create the next Stone Cold. They just want everybody to be safe in the WWE bubble. They don't want anyone to outgrow the WWE. They want the WWE to be the main name, the number one name, and everybody else just to fall in line. And that's what Charlotte Flair does. That's what Seth Rollins does. That's what Roman Reigns does. That's what all these people do. Hulk Hogan didn't do that. He was bigger than WWE. He was bigger than WCW. He was bigger than wrestling. Hulk Hogan was wrestling. And to say that Charlotte Flair's on his level, fucking ridiculous here for Kevin Sullivan. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know if he's kissing up to Ric Flair, trying to get, I don't know, fucking an invite to Charlotte Flair's wedding. That's if she's not married to Andrade already yet. I don't know what he's doing, but he's talking shit, and I mean, who knows? I would check him. Maybe he did commit the Benoit murders. If he's willing to go this far, if he's willing to claim that Charlotte Flair is in the same category as Hulk Hogan, then who knows what this guy is capable of, as Scott Steiner would say. Anyway, guys, that's it. Charlotte Flair, not one of the greats, not even fucking close. I mean, if you want to call her one of the best women wrestlers of the past 10 years, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. You know, one of these garbage, generic WWE created women wrestlers, I'll accept that. I'll accept it. But on the level of Hulk Hogan, all-time great? Absolutely fucking not. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Kevin Sullivan talking absolute shite. Till next time, peace.